This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 621 for September 16th, 2019. Can't say Bamboozle.
Go, confusing.
Utterly befuddling.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
We just recorded a brand new Game Club recap episode, this time for BAFTA award-winning Thomas Was Alone.
Thank you.
That was a really great episode, so if you don't typically listen to Game Club episodes, number one, how dare you? Number two, you should really go listen to this one, because we went on some really great tangents that ended up not being tangents, which I thought were really great. And you should play Thomas Was Alone. It's like 3 hours long, and it's really great.
Don't spoil the show, but yes, you should play Thomas Was Alone.
And like we talked about on the show, you probably already own it.
Yeah.
Because it came out on something somewhere. It's on pretty much every platform. So except for the Switch yet. But all right, let's dive right in what you've been playing this past week, Moonpier.
Okay, very quick mention for Apex Legends. Played it with my wife and Em. Really fun time. Apex is continuing to be probably one of my favorite battle royales, period, just because of the pace, the controls, everything about it.
Is that Void Something's event still going on? That's
still going on right now, and there is 2 weeks left in the current Battle Pass season.
Oh, okay.
And I'm now officially at the point where it's like, I'm at level 49. If I get to level 50, I'm happy. There's 100 levels in it, so I'm debating, do I want to get my head in and just go through all the challenges to get myself +1 Battle Pass? And then do I want to support Apex Legends and buy Battle Pass levels at the end of the season?
Sure.
Depending on how far I am and stuff like that.
Okay, can you clarify something for me here? Because there's controversy in another game that I will talk about here in a second. I will unveil what game that is. Can you buy Battle Pass levels as the season is coming to an end in Apex Legends?
As far as I know, you can buy Battle Pass levels at any point. I don't know if you can do it after the season, but I can today, and with 15 days left, I can still buy Battle Pass levels. Okay.
Because Destiny 2 has announced they have a Battle Pass.
Okay.
And it functions exactly the same way as it does in literally any other game that has one. It just has a different name.
I saw the hood as well. So
yeah, so like people are like, I don't understand how this works. It's like, just go fire up Fortnite. Like it's just or Apex Legends or any
Rocket
of these games. Yeah, like it's the same interface. But there has been some controversy because the director of Destiny 2 has said, well, probably for like the last 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, we'll probably let people purchase for real world money some Battle Pass ranks. And people are like, how dare you? It's like, you don't have to. Like, you don't, like, but like, if you need 2 more levels to get to this cool exotic weapon you want, toss them $2 or $3. Like, I thought that was interesting because I didn't know if any of the other games let you do that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure about Rocket League. My wife could probably chime in on that one. I know with Apex, you could buy them from the get-go. I don't know when they're going to cut off that point, but you could buy them
probably like as soon as the season ends, which would be fair.
Yeah, TI, when the TI is going on, that's the international for Dota 2, for those who don't know the stupid terms. You can buy the levels for that, and they literally the second the final is done, they stop it. You can no longer buy levels. That's this year. I think last year you could still buy levels for like a week or two afterwards, but I'm pretty sure this year they cut it off the second that final was completed.
I feel like that's more fair. It's like you can buy it during the season, and as soon as the season's over, like the season's done, man. Like close that door.
Yeah. And the funny thing is at this point, it's like if I was to buy my levels to get me to level 100 right now, I would be spending $60 to get me the 60 levels I need to get to that level 100. I didn't pay a penny for Apex Legends.
Right.
I spent $10 to get the season pass, which they give you the equivalent in premium currency for getting to level 100. So
okay.
If you get all the way through to level 100 in the season pass, you've earned your money back from the season pass.
Right. And I feel like that $1 a level is pretty fair because, like you're saying, if you really like the reward at level 50 and you're level 48, it's $2, man. Like, you know you're not going to play, or it's like a day before the season ends. It's awesome, $2. You get the thing at level 50 and you're all done.
For me, it's mostly I don't want to miss out on the aerial taunts, because one of the things they introduced for this is when you're dropping, they've got emotes now for each individual character when you're dropping. So
I love it.
Do a backflip or a front flip or whatever, and they say
That's
something.
Great. They're doing like an airwalk.
Mirage, who is the biggest tool in the lot of them, like he is a bro if there ever was a bro that broed.
Gotcha.
He can never say the word bamboozle, even though that's his thing.
Okay.
Like Mirage produces holograms of himself, and then if enemies shoot that hologram, their location is pinged on your map, so you see where they are. And he like. One of the things he says is he throws his thing out. He's like, "Come on, go confuse him."
That's really good.
Yeah, but he talks really quick. He moves really fast. He's got that like that bro thing going on, and he's the type of person who in the video game. And my wife said this earlier today. Actually, I love him in the video game. If I was to meet him in real life, I would want to punch his teeth down his throat.
Yeah, like, I'd rather not be around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He literally has the running in a backflip motion. His air emote is he runs in a backflip.
That's great.
You've got the inner calm peace dude who's also a big bruiser. He crosses his legs, folds his arms, and then does a backflip.
Great.
You know,
I love it.
They all say something stupid at the same time too. So of course, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't care about the skin for the guns for getting 100. I just don't. It's a cool looking skin, but I just don't care. But it's like, I probably should check my hour counter in Apex, because this is one of those games. It's like Elite, where it's like, okay, I went in Elite and I paid the cosmetic money to get the green jets, the green lasers, and some of the stuff for the dashboard. It's like, I'm fine with that because I paid $15 for this game in early access and then another $10 for the DLC.
Right. You played for 5,000 hours.
Exactly. So it's like, if that's how they make their money, I am perfectly happy giving them money for cosmetic items.
I gotta say, the inverse I thought was really funny. I forgot to talk about it last week, but we got Gears 5, like the Ultimate or whatever edition, and as part of it, it comes with some of the premium currency. And there was one that has like, you can preview all of the skins for all the guns, and there's just a ton of them. And I ran across ones that were like pink and green neon ones. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. I've got a little bit of currency. Let's see if I can afford what doesn't look like a really rare skin set. So I go in the store, and it says it's 2,500 iron, I think is the premium currency. And I was like,
yes, it is.
oh, I think I have like 500. How much would it cost me to get to 2,500? That would be $25. And I was just like, no, not for weapons. Like, you want me to spend $5 or $10? Like, yeah, I got the game for free. I'll chuck in a couple of $5-$10. Like, that won't be any problem. But you asked me to throw in like $20-$25. I can't do that for weapon skins.
It feels like when games first come out, the cosmetic markets are insanely overpriced.
Yeah, and then like a couple weeks later, it's like, we've heard your feedback. We appreciate it. We will be dropping the price of in-game cosmetic items. It's just like, well, we got the whale money. That's fine. They stopped playing.
And there was also the whole Fallout 76 thing of, oh, we're sorry you're disappointed in your backpack. Here is some premium currency, which is not enough money to buy the in-game version of your backpack.
Right. It's so good.
Oh, but yeah. Apex is great. It's fun. It's stupid. I just have a laugh with my friends. Like, that's all I'm doing right now is I play it with my wife and Em, and we go in, we have fun. We back-to-back number 2 like before.
Wow.
Before we roguelike it today, we got back-to-back second places.
Nice.
Which was great, and it's like, that's fine. I don't mind. If I get a top 5, I'm happy. If I get a top 10, it's okay.
Me, if I get top 50%, I'm happy.
That's a top 10.
There you go.
If I happen to drop out in number 20, that's because we hot dropped, and it was just for poops and giggles.
Right.
Okay, let's just see what's going to happen. Let's get.
Can I punch a dude to death? Nope.
Depends on where you go. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm back on my Descenders kick.
Oh no.
Like, I don't know what it was this week. I'm trying to organize my games better on my Xbox, and now the Xbox has the groups feature where you can stick the games into individual groups and so on and so forth.
Oh, nice.
So I was going through my 308 installed games. Like, I need to put together a frequently played folder, which includes Apex, Dead by Daylight, and that's it. And
okay.
Maybe put Elite in there as well. But then I was going through, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put the Game Pass games in one folder, because then I can prioritize them above most others, because they're only going to be in Game Pass for a certain amount of time.
Right. Can you order them within a group?
They are ordered in groups how you choose to be. So, like, alphabetically, you can also organize by size. I don't know if you can organize them by size in the group, but you can on your main Game Pass thing. So I was going through, and I was just slotting all of my Game Pass games into this folder. And I was like, I haven't played Descenders in a while.
You stick it into like an evergreen games folder?
Yeah, I was like, let's give it a shot, shall we?
Yeah.
And then I put probably about 20 hours into Descenders this week.
There you go.
Why not? In the process, though, because it's one of those things where it's like, I have 4 achievements left in the game.
Right.
The Golden Run, which is still a great and terrible achievement name, which is to do a full run on the standard career from start to finish without ever falling off your bike.
Woof.
Yes. There is the whoopee cushion achievement, which is to use the whoopee cushion 200 times or something like that.
Okay. The Yoku's Island Express.
Yep. Problem is the whoopee cushion is an extremely rare drop, and you need to have 50,000 rep in a run to even have a chance of unlocking it.
Oh, wow.
And there's like 3,000 items in the game, so,
okay.
You know, of course.
Right.
I have the do all the bonus levels, which is there is a super jump level, there is a construction site where you've got to get to the top, there's a toy box arena, and there is the moon.
Oh, naturally.
And these are 4 hidden levels in the standard career mode that you can go and find on the map and try and get done. And then, as long as you don't have to do them all in one run, but you've just got to complete each one kind of thing. And then I had the What a Legend achievement, which is to complete Career Plus in one run. You can fall, but you have to go from start to finish.
Oh, okay.
Which is not easy, because Career Plus is the one that has the favelas level, which is the millions of buildings and one mistake and you go flying into one of them.
Right.
It's got the Glacier level as the final world, which is full of ice, and it's like, oh, you want a break? Here you go, enjoy this skid into a mountainside.
Right.
And it's got the forest level / mountain level, which is basically just pure downhill, don't hit a tree chaos kind of thing. And of course, it's got the desert level, which is probably my favorite map now. But I was playing it, I was like, I'm going to aim for something, so I'm just going to aim at the full Career Plus one. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to give that some practice. Lo and behold, seven runs later, I get the What a Legend achievement.
Yeah.
Which we were discussing on the outtakes today, was the achievement that jumped into my top 10 rated achievements on True Achievements.
Wow.
With a ridiculously high ratio. Game Pass, man, it does it again.
Do you remember what your number 1 achievement is?
My number 1 achievement, I don't remember, but I happen to have it open on a different page, so let me just scroll down here.
I was reminded that they do that when I was looking at my True Trophies. My number 1 is the Platinum for Enter the Gungeon, because it is stupid hard to get. Mm-hmm. Oddly, it's not the one for Binding of Isaac.
That's terrifying to me, just so you know.
Yes.
Well, having said that, though, the base game of Isaac isn't too bad.
No, that's true.
All of the extra stuff for Isaac, which is the problem.
Yeah.
So my number one achievement is Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts, which is the Sorcerer's Lair multiple on Pinball FX2.
Wow.
The reason why that is because Pinball FX2 is a free game when you buy the tables, and Sorcerer's Lair is the table that comes included with Pinball FX. So
okay.
It's the free table.
So like 50 million people have it.
Exactly. My second highest ratio achievement is fantastic, which is to do 100 Fantasy Challenge games in NBA Live Ultimate Team on NBA Live 15, which was that game that took me like 4 years to get the full gamer score in.
Yeah, I remember like you would check in once a month being like, hey, I'm still doing it. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. I still get messages on True Achievements asking me if I still own the game and can help them out.
You want to boost NBA 15? It's like, no, I don't. Sorry.
Well, What a Legend jumped all the way up to number 6 on my list of achievements. Wow. Easy Worshipper, still right up there. Thank you, Eternal Sonata, for that one.
Eternal Sonata. You just have to play the game 4 times. No big deal. It's like, no.
And I did.
Yeah. I think I made it like through like 2 playthroughs, and I was like, I can't do this again. Chopin, you've broken me.
Well, his work is very emotional.
That's right. And I think the thing that broke me was watching that one woman's 15-minute death sequence the second time. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do this again.
That's the most Green Sky game with the darkest story at the actual back end of it.
Yes.
It's like, look how pretty this is. Look at how great it looks. It's like Viva Pinata.
Life is terrible.
Yes.
Why? Why must we live if only to suffer?
Now you sound like an early 2000s emo band. Or
that's right.
New metal band.
You can listen to my breakthrough EP, I Hate My Dad. I don't hate my dad if he's listening.
You know, he doesn't.
Early 2000s emo bands sure did.
Yes, they sure did. But yeah, Descenders, go play. Like, seriously, it's fun.
I see the nymph furiously scribbling over there.
Oh, yeah. He's not the only one. I have my pen here.
Yeah.
And apparently, I did not know this, Boston, because I wasn't paying attention to my updates.
Mm-hmm.
They did release a frame rate patch.
Oh, for Descenders?
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it might be worth hitting up that Game Pass app you have and
on my mobile telephone.
Yes, send the message to the Xbox that you want to download it, and
you fire up the
fingers.
Xbox Game Pass app. That is just there. We go. There it is. It's just a white screen. Hey, I finished a quest for 100 points. Hey, yay. Show my rewards. Oh, let's do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Collect your rewards, because that's basically keep chugging away at it, and it's basically free monies.
That's right. Did something in Gears 5 too.
But yeah, fingers crossed. Now it will work for you instead of just being impossible to actually even launch the game. or if the start menu will work, or yeah,
that says installation complete. Reinstall. Boop.
I will cross my fingers for you, because it's one of those games that I hope you will like as.
I desperately want to try it.
Yes. But no, it's Descenders. I have sang this game's praises for months now. So yeah. Everyone should give it a shot, even though it's probably going to be nominated at least within a certain category for me in Game of the Year.
Maybe like an old game that's really good.
It came out this year, dude, 2019.
Oh, okay.
After Descenders, I thought, oh no, I'll play some Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Because Mackie has got me really annoyed with how quickly he just jumped ahead of everything. Can I
also say, Mackie is posting on Twitter, like, casually, like, oh, I got another achievement. It's like, no, dude, you did, like, one of the hardest things in the game. Don't just say, like, I got this achievement. Like, 0.24% of other people got it. It's fine. No, like, you're doing, like, ungodly things.
That's just him being passive-aggressive, really.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's more directed towards the game than anybody else, though.
Right, like, I beat you.
I am now hate playing this game because screw you, Hollow Knight.
Right. I'm this deep in, I can't escape without finishing it.
Yeah, because honestly, it was one of those things where, like, I started playing it, and you were my kind of guiding voice throughout a little bit of it.
Right.
And then he started playing it, and I was his kind of guiding voice. And if
just keep pushing through it. If you're having trouble, just keep pushing.
Yeah, and also, okay, you're up to this point. You've got these skills. You might want to go and do this boss to get to try and make progress.
At least a direction where it's like you want to go like northeast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think he's further than you and me now.
Oh, he's 100% further than I am. Yeah. Like, infuriatingly so.
Yeah, because he's just keeping it in the chain. That's the thing that bothers me. Is it's the right thing to do, because he started, he was like, oh, here's achievement, and then he replied to his own thing with another picture of the next achievement. And then now it's like, oh, here is 4 achievements I got this weekend. It's like, stop it. Just stop it.
The part that's really frustrating me is I was heading towards doing that stuff, and then I took too long of a break.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to legitimately start the whole game back over.
Yes.
Just to get to the point where my skills are good enough to go do the end game stuff.
Yes. So, let me talk about Hollow Knight really quick.
Okay.
I beat the Soul Tyrant.
Okay.
I beat the White Defender.
Nice.
Who I love that guy. Like, his battle is insane, but I absolutely love that guy. Like, the White Dung Defender is... His attacks are very unique. He's not hard, but he's not easy either. He's a good balanced boss, and he's just so funny. Like him,
his animations are great.
Yes, I found all of the vessels, so I now have my full 3 pips of soul thing on the left-hand side.
Nice, makes a huge difference.
Yep, I defeated the Lost Kin.
Lost Kin, which one's that one?
It's the dream version of the Broken Kin or something like that. He's the one who I fought and then tried to fight his dream version ages ago. And you were like, no, dude, that's endgame stuff.
I'm gonna... Hollow Knight Lost Kin. Because a lot of these bosses, like, I know their I know what they look like, but I don't know their names. You don't know what their names.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's the little guy that looks like you with the squiggly legs and has the, like, bulbous stuff coming out of him. Yep, okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I
hate that boss.
I beat the dream version of him.
Wow, that's... Kudos.
Yep. I got my 1800 Essence achievement.
Okay. That the one that gives you a pale ore?
Nope.
Okay.
That's the one where she's just like, cool, thanks for that.
Thanks for the stuff, see ya.
Yep. I beat Grey Prince Zote.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which is the dream version of Zote in Little Lady's Dream Theater, which... I love the background on his boss map because it's 1,000 Zotes all of the background.
Yep.
And then the beetle lady just like paint me like one of your French beetles on the bed in the background. It's just such a great like map image. And I fully upgraded my pin, or my nail, I should say.
Okay.
So I now have the pure nail.
Nice. It does so much damage. Oh my god.
Yes, it does. And because I feel confident-ish in the game now, I am now also rocking the Fragile Strength pin at all times.
Okay. You haven't upgraded that so it's not fragile?
I haven't upgraded it so it's not fragile yet. I did not know you could do that, so that's interesting.
Yeah, you have to start...
Unless that comes with my next thing, because a lady asked me for it, and I told her, no, you're not taking my pin. I found and unlocked the Grim Troop.
Yes, then it starts with Grim Troop. That lady that wants to take your fragile stuff, give it to her and pay a whole lot of money. And
how much is a whole lot?
Like 120,000 for one of them.
Whoa!
But it will never break at that point.
But dude, I'm rolling in Geo at this point, and I've got like
10
12,000 something like that.
What? That's why I never upgraded them, because I'm like, how much do you want? I'm sorry, like that's another 0 on the end of what I have.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think she takes it permanently if you give it to her. I didn't
want to risk it.
That's fair. Knowing Hollow Knight, did you ever fill out the bank?
Yes.
Okay.
You get nothing for her.
It's so good.
It's literally just a woman who wants to hold on to your Geo. It's like, she's still got 4,500 of my Geo, should I need it at any point in time, because I'm still rocking with like 12k.
Oh, you never finished the bank quest?
What's the bank quest?
Is she still in the bank building?
Yes.
Okay, you haven't finished the bank then.
Okay. I did finish the Quirrell quest, so I found him in his final location.
Oh, okay.
And I got that achievement. But yeah, I haven't done the bank thing yet. I give her my 4,500. I'm sure she's going to scarper off with my Geo at some point, because that's exactly what she hints at the very first time you talk to her.
There's a really great reveal when you give her as much money as she needs, and then you come back.
Okay, so I haven't been back to her since I gave her my 4,500.
Right.
So yeah, that's something I'm going to have to do at some point soon. So that's fun. I still don't know where my second half of my mask is. I'm literally just wandering around every single part of the map right now. I've got 4 of the stupid caterpillar things left, the grubs.
Right.
I can see them on my map now. I'm just taking my time and just exploring. I'm basically retracing my path through the game, trying to figure out where anything that I might have missed is.
That's the white mask, right? The one that has 2 pieces?
Yes, I have the first half. I don't have the second half yet.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get the second part.
Oh, I realized what you get when you get the 1800 essence. It sharpens your dream blade or your dream nail, so you can attack the white knight in the front of the place.
Yes, the one you couldn't interact with before.
Yes, and then you can go into that building behind him, but I don't know what's in that building because I went in and it was like, this is all white and completely the opposite of everything I've encountered in this game. I'm going to come back later. Thank you very much.
Right.
So something tells me that's DLC. If I had to guess, that's God Home. I guess that's the God Home DLC is what I think.
I think so. There's so much. The great part about it is they just kept putting out really great DLC for this game, and I have a really hard time figuring out what is what.
Well, I was waiting for the Grim Troop to show up, and then I accidentally just found a corpse, and I was like, well, I can hit every other corpse in the game with my Dream Nail. Why can't I not hit this one?
Right.
And then I hit it, and I was like, wait, what's this thing in the next room all of a sudden?
Yeah, it's like, you opened something up, and I was like, oh no, did I mess this up?
Do you love the Grim Troops music? Like the creepy circus music?
Yep.
Reminds me of Dead by Daylight.
There you go. It's really good.
But I just like... The game doesn't stop.
I know. And like everything you unlock is just so good.
Yeah, it just keeps going. I still need like 4 pins, 4 charms, and I don't know where they are. Like,
yeah, I think those might be DLC. Because I think they added like 1 per each DLC.
Mm-hmm. I got the Hive done. So I went in the Hive, I beat the Hive. That fight was a nightmare.
I never beat that boss because it's rough.
Like he was very annoying until I remembered, oh, that's right, use your butt bash spell because you've got invincibility frames while you do it. It attacks upwards to take care of the bees that come down from above you, and it knocks him back as well. So boss fights for me are now a case of do as much damage as I can with my nail, and then hit him with the crap out of them.
Right. Give him the booty.
Yes. But yeah, Hollow Knight. I suddenly made a whole bunch of progress over the course of like 2 days. So
yeah.
The progress will continue at some point. I did play Dead by Daylight once by myself to do a daily, and somehow I managed to get the Adept Hag achievement, which we've talked about the Adept Killer achievements being really difficult in this game.
Right.
It gives you medals based on 4 classifications. So, like, chasing, stopping them from repairing the generator, how cruel you are, and stuff like that. It's like 4 levels of medal. The highest level of medal is the red medal. It's like it's a blood-colored medal. I got red in all 4. Like, all 4 slots were red. And I still was one notch short of the maximum gain on it. Jeez. So I was like, okay, so clearly that's broken.
Right.
But it was enough to tick me over to get me the Adept Hag achievement. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I never have to play her again except for dailies, which is exactly why I was playing her in this case. It was because I had a daily for her. I may or may not have also got a Legion daily, which I'm just going to take that Legion daily and I'm going to put it in my pocket and I'm going to leave it there for when I'm having a bad day and I want to have some fun. And
when you want to win.
Jump in and wreck some fools as Legion.
Yeah.
So that daily's going to stay there. That's never getting recycled until I need it to be. So
yeah.
Put that in my pocket. Save it for a special day.
Yep.
My final game this week, Wreckfest.
Wreckfest.
Yep. Wreckfest being I'm pretty sure, I think. I should probably double check this, but you don't fact check on podcasts. I learned that from Ryan Davis.
Yeah.
Wreckfest, I'm pretty sure, is the latest game from the people who made Project Cars. Or otherwise known as the next car game.
Yes.
Sure, why not? I have been complaining for around about 6 years that we need another Destruction Derby game.
Yes.
Hey guys, Wreckfest.
Hello, my name is Wreckfest.
So, Wreckfest is Destruction Derby.
Great.
With really beautiful looking graphics and the most ridiculous physics model you've probably seen in forever.
Yeah.
Ridiculous because everything shatters and all of a sudden there's just a bunch of bumpers and mirrors and doors collecting on the edge of the arena.
Yeah.
You drive around in a circle, you smash into people, it makes great like smashy, crashy noises.
Mm-hmm.
And then you knock people out, then you respawn and you knock some more people out. And that's
like the Cyanosis great, historically fantastic Destruction Derby games.
Exactly. And then you realize that, oh, wait, no, there's races in here too.
Oh, no.
And it's a figure eight.
Oh, no.
And you don't do the bridge or the tunnel.
Oh.
It's just a figure eight.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and by the way, there are special vehicles in the game, such as a combine harvester.
Oh, no.
So I played this with my wife. We both decided to give it a go and see how it goes. We learned very quickly. Unfortunately, we were stuck with the basic B vehicles because we hadn't done anything in the career mode. So it's like, okay, we'll just do a couple of Destruction Derbies, then we'll try out maybe a race or two and see how things go. So we were having fun. Like, it's very simple. It's stupidly simple. It's right trigger, left trigger, crash into things.
Right.
It's kind of the inverse of first-person shooters. Right trigger, left trigger, or left trigger, right trigger, I should say, for shooters. And you just smash things, you get points, you get placed on leaderboard, whatever, so on and so forth. Then we did the race. And it was really, really fun just driving around in this figure eight because the races are elimination. So if you are out, you are out.
Right.
Like, you are done. And on the first race, I died on, like, the second to last corner because some idiot decided to smash me into a fence. And then the next race, the person in dead last had the combine harvester. Which I didn't know until going around the track for the second time. And as you're coming up to that cross point on the figure eight, the combine harvester just rolls past. And I was like, wait, there's a combine harvester on the track.
Hold on a minute.
At which point we both kind of panicked a little bit. And then the guy driving the combine harvester realized he wasn't going to win, turned around and started driving backwards.
Great.
Because that's what you do in Destruction Derby games when you're, playing online against a bunch of randos.
Yeah.
Is you try and mess them up with your combine harvester.
Ah, the good old days.
Yes.
So you found a racing game horror game, huh?
Uh-huh. Pretty much.
Right.
That's how it felt the first time I saw it. It was just like, oh no.
Oh, what have we done?
And then at one point he was driving forwards and I came up behind him to lap him and I'm like, I don't want to go past.
Yeah.
I just want to sit behind him and pretend and hope he doesn't see me because I don't want to sneak up the inside and then get rotorbladed to death. Thank you very much. There is a school bus as well that you can drive.
And naturally.
Mm-hmm. It was really fun. Played maybe about 2 hours of online multiplayer with my wife. And then I thought, let's see what the career's like. The very first career event is a Destruction Derby on lawnmowers.
Nice.
Great, like a riding lawnmower?
Like a riding lawnmower.
That's really good.
With a guy sitting on top of it.
Perfect.
And it takes literally the smallest tap on your side to make you get wrecked. And by get wrecked, I mean the body sitting on the top of the lawnmower to suddenly fly sideways off the lawnmower and just ragdoll physics onto the actual course while
I love it.
Thousands of other lawnmowers are driving around. There's 30 lawnmowers in this tiny little area.
Jeez.
And she's like, Sure, why not? And it's got the stupid heavy metal soundtrack, appropriately enough for the game genre. And all of the things are designed with appropriately Destruction Derby graphics. Like, the lawnmowers have got, like, Born to Grill and all that other stuff, like, on the side of them and things like that. The deliveries are interesting.
Okay.
I want to talk about my wife's, but I don't know if you will cut it from the show. So...
Okay.
So... My wife unlocked it. We did unlock another car. Like, we earned enough credits to buy a second car, and she bought the Gremlin, and I bought the Rammer. Mm-hmm. Puns aside. My wife's Gremlin, she painted pink, and on the side is spray painted on it. So this is the point where you want to put the...
I've got my pen ready. Yep.
On the side, it says... I think it says something like, hold on tight and never let go, or something like that, or hold on and enjoy the ride. I think it says down the side of it. She's like, oh, that's cool, it's bright pink, so on and so forth. She loaded the game up, and
on the other side.
No. Literally written on the bumper, it says, ram me hard.
And you're just like, yeah, that checks out.
And she didn't see that when she actually painted the car.
Great. So
it became this really interesting reveal of my wife noticing that that's what it said, because she picked that livery because of what it said on the side, not what it said on the back.
Didn't rotate it.
The smallest print ever on the back, like right on the bumper, and it's just like, okay.
I thought you were going to say that she painted something on the side of it like country, but without the O.
Right.
No, she's not that bad yet. But actually she is. She would 100% do that if she could. Specifically Outlaw Country would be written on the side of that.
Right.
But no, like, this game is dumb. It's fun. If you want to see actual footage of it, my wife recently posted a tweet. She's putting together a video of me and her playing it and the shenanigans that we got up to. I am interested in playing this game a lot more. Like, the career mode seems like it's got some depth, considering it starts with lawnmowers, and I know I have to unlock a school bus and a combine harvester at some point, and who knows what else along the way.
And your upgrade tree.
Yes, and there's the upgrade tree, and there's everything else. So I'm going to look forward to playing more Wreckfest, just to do the single-player stuff, to unlock more random stuff to enjoy while playing online.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yes, it was stupid fun, and like all of their games, like, the game looks gorgeous. And like I said, the physics model that they put together, like, go watch some of the demos that team puts together. It's just insane. It's like, oh, here is a car hitting a bucket full of balls, and then the balls just go flying everywhere. It's like, oh, it's the 100 Ducks from, like, the Sony reveal or whatever it is.
Yeah, their sandbox mode for a next car game was crazy.
Yes, but it's fun. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to going back to that. And that's all I've been playing, folks.
All right, Nimp, how about you?
All right. This week, I started out playing Zelda Link Between Worlds. Managed to beat it.
Nice.
Congratulations.
It didn't feel, I guess, as challenging as I'm used to for Zelda games.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I can't quite place what about it isn't challenging, because I know I had a hard time remembering that I could paint myself to a wall to be able to move.
Me too. Like, there were a couple of puzzles where it's like, how am I even supposed to get across this chasm? And it's like, oh, yeah, I can just go to the end of the wall.
Which,
right, okay.
I mean, it's a really good, I guess, skill that you get in the game. And it's just amazing how fast you forget that you can do it. At least for me, anyway.
I remember in, like, Kakariko Village, they're like, you need to get behind this guy and sneak up on him. It's like, he just keeps running away. I had to look it up, and they're like, yeah, just, like, go in the wall and pop out behind him. It's like, oh my god, that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Or
all right.
There's other stuff in the dungeons where there's a mesh bridge that's like, all right, I see it over there, but how do I get it to pop over the chasm? It's like, oh, duh, you paint yourself to a wall, go behind it, and pop out, and it knocks it out.
Right, and it's just like,
just common sense stuff that just, I don't know why, but I couldn't keep it in my mind.
It's the Lego game problem. You overthink everything that you do because it's quote-unquote for kids. Yeah,
you just need to use, like, the one thing the game wants you to do.
Yeah, but I went through, upgraded my Master Sword to level 3. I had both pieces of armor, the blue and red. Found the Hyrule Shield. The one thing that I found weird, though, was that there are 2 weapons in the game that you can get that you don't actually need to have or use, and that would be the bow and arrow and the boomerang. There aren't any puzzles tied to either one of those, which is weird.
They very much feel like we got to have these in a Zelda game, so use them if you want, I guess.
Yeah, and then I found out after I had beaten the game, I looked at my son's save file and found out that you can apparently upgrade all the items too by finding those shell creatures. They're basically like traps that are stuck to walls.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it because I had been collecting them and just never went back to the mom to bring them back. And apparently every 10 of them that you turn in, you get to upgrade an item. And it does cool stuff, like the bow shoots 3 arrows and does more damage. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's nice to know after I've already beaten the game.
Right, after I'm now done.
So yeah, I really liked it. It also, I mean, it basically follows the same path as Ocarina of Time, where you've got your 3 small dungeons to kind of get you into it, and then you've got your 7 after that. But I really like the story and the fact that it's basically the flip side of Hyrule. Everything's slightly backwards, like it's what do they call it, low rule. Zelda,
low rule, yeah.
Zelda is Hilda.
Oh my god, I just got that joke.
Yeah,
Hyrule and low rule.
Yeah, low rule.
Jesus
you
Christ.
only just got that, dude?
Well, because I never said it out loud, and it's like, oh, like you read it and you're like, okay, stupid Zelda.
Well, then you find out the history of the storekeeper who takes over your house.
Yep.
So that's pretty fun. I really enjoyed the game. I just wish it was a little bit longer, but whatever, it was fun.
At least it's not Spirit Tracks.
I have not played Spirit Tracks.
It's
Spirit
so
Tracks,
bad.
I like Spirit Tracks. You shut up.
I didn't like that one or the previous one.
I have it. The only handhelds I have not played is Minish Cap and Spirit Tracks, and I've got both of those because my son has played them. So.
Minish Cap is so good. Oh god,
Minish Cap is one of the best Zelda games ever made.
It's in my top 3 Zelda games.
Really quick, I just want to make sure Boston knows this. You get Tails' full name.
Yes, Miles Tails per hour. Yes.
Okay.
It was a very Phoenix Down moment. I was
going to say, you know the Phoenix Down thing too.
Yeah,
correct?
I'm very much had a Brad Shoemaker Phoenix Down moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just had to double check. Sorry,
well, to be fair, we did start out talking about how we overthink this game and don't see the obvious. So.
That's right. Maybe it's like Le Roule.
Yeah.
Fragile.
So the next game that I played was Astral Chain. I also beat that this weekend.
Oh.
And I thoroughly enjoyed this game. The only 2 things that I don't like about it is that when you're in the middle of a file, you cannot manually save. It has to be an autosave.
Oh, weird.
So that kind of sucks. But, I mean, it autosaves enough throughout what you're doing. Anytime you do anything, pretty much, it'll autosave.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get between this game and another game that I'm going to talk about later why some companies seem to be shifting back towards not being able to let you save.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, certain games I can understand it, like Dark Souls has a very aggressive autosave system on it.
Yeah.
And I like stuff like that, I get it. It's designed to punish you for mistakes you make, so that I can get it, but at the same time, you can also manually save. You just literally go to a bonfire or hit save.
Well, and that's the thing. You can manually save in this game. It's just in between your files, you go back to HQ, and you can save at your computer there. But while you're in the middle of a file, as far as I'm aware, I haven't been able to find a way for you to actually hard save. It's just, you got to do something and hope it autosaves for you.
Right.
Which normally isn't an issue, but you have to remember, too, that it's on a platform that can also be a mobile platform.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't have a half hour to an hour to just sit there and play a game. That's why it's on a mobile platform.
Or your battery says 2% and you gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So, the other thing that I kind of disliked, now I'm not going to spoil anything with this, but leading up to the final boss, there is a lengthy platforming segment that you have to do.
Oh, no.
And it's not difficult, but there's a lot of stuff going on while you're trying to platform, and it makes it kind of a pain, and that's probably the most I've ever fallen off of anything.
Right.
Did people not learn this with Half-Life 1? and Psychonauts and
right.
a bajillion other games that just here's
and
the
Xenogears.
section.
Yeah, and like I said, it's for me. I mean, maybe for other people who have played platformers a lot longer than I have, they'll be fine with it. But there's just so much going on in the background, and you have to constantly keep moving, and you're trying to move your character as well as your Legion at the same time, but you're not trying to fall off. But at the same time, you're trying to make sure that your Legion is actually over a platform so you can chain jump over to it.
Oh,
kind of makes it a pain.
Yeah.
Someone recommend this to Musum ASAP, and don't mention the platform and parts 2 and 3.
Right. Not to listen to this, but it's just this one section. But once you get past it, I mean, I enjoyed the story. There's a lot of crap that goes down. Your sibling is still a D-bag.
Naturally.
To the point where you start the mission with him, and then he just up and disappears because he's kind of having a freak out.
Great.
And I don't know, I got over him real fast. Like I said, I'm assuming it's the exact same story for the sister if you chose to play as the brother, but
yeah.
Either way, the sibling story in this, from the side that I got, not a fan of. But whatever.
Yeah.
And if they make a second game, I would really look forward to it. So that's how much I enjoyed it.
It seems to be selling and reviewing pretty well, so I feel like the chances are pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, there is another chapter after you finish the game, and this just seems like it's extra missions and stuff, and they have, it takes place a month after, blah, blah, blah. But it has, like, this set of missions for you to do. It's set up differently than what the game had been up to that point, and I haven't jumped too much into it, but there's a bunch of extra stuff you can do. There's some leftover story that you can get, which I'm interested in, so I may do that. And then, of course, you can go back and replay all the files, change the difficulties, all that fun stuff. And since at this point you have all 5 legions, there's stuff that you can go back to the beginning of the game and get that you couldn't get to begin with because you didn't have the proper legion to unlock whatever.
My weakness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll probably put more time into that. I really enjoyed it. I would love to play more of it. So
yeah.
That's all I have to say for that one. The next game that I played, and I am never going to get this name right, no matter how many times I say it in my head.
Okay.
Utawarerumono?
Yep.
Close enough.
Yeah. Zan. So...
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, this one just came out last week. This is... I'm trying to think... It's kind of put out there as a visual novel, but it's not. It's for the PS4, and it retells what I've been calling the second season, all the way up until its conclusion, it seems like. But it really boils down the story, where from this, when you first meet up with your main character Haku, there's a lot of stuff that happens before you make it to the Imperial capital. Mm-hmm. And within a half hour of this game, I'm already at the Imperial capital.
Yeah, because they've been billing it as an action game this time instead of... And I feel like the story is reflected in the new genre, too.
Yeah, so that was kind of the reason why I wanted to check it out, was just to see what they did with the action, because a lot of people were calling it a Muso game, which...
Oh, interesting.
It's not like Dynasty Warriors Muso.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's like a... Oh, what's that arena one with the women in it? They had one that came out recently. It was like beach volley. No.
Senran Kagura?
Yes, that. Senran Kagura.
Yeah.
It's more like that, where it's smaller arenas that you're fighting in.
Okay.
It's
just like a lot of enemies, like a lot of faceless enemies, but not a Musou game.
Yeah, it's not like Dynasty Warriors where you have a map and you're running around and, defending and attacking.
Objectives.
So far, anyway. I've only done a couple levels. But they do try to bring the story. They've changed bits of the story, so it's not exactly like the anime, and it's not exactly like the visual novel, where there's small changes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fine, whatever. You find that across all media. The combat, though, so far is pretty decent.
Nice.
They keep a lot of the fighting animations that were in the visual novel, the tactical RPG portion of it. All those fight moves and stuff are in this game, and the style where they just do their basic attacks and all that are exactly the same as their basic attacks in the tactical RPG portion of the the visual novel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool seeing it I guess like in 3D, live action, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, I haven't gotten too far into it. I was just kind of quick checking it out. Excuse me, just so I can kind of say something about it. But if you want to check this series out, don't start with this one, because the story is really boiled down. It's either expecting you to have already played the visual novels, or it's expecting you to have watched the anime. So don't start with this game.
Yeah.
Maybe come back.
Start with the other ones.
And let's see. From there, the next game that I was playing was Control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I picked this up earlier last week. Also have not gotten terribly far into it. I just met up with the janitor for the second time now.
Oh, okay.
The second time being in his office?
Yes.
The second time?
Yep.
Okay.
Where he talks about how he needs to be on vacation, or he needs to get you trained so he can go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Swear this guy can read your mind. Because there's just little subtle things that he says and that he responds to. It's like, no, that guy is totally reading what she's thinking. So,
right.
But everyone's heard you guys talk about it, and everyone's heard everyone else talk about it, so I'm not going to get too in-depth with it. But there's a bunch of stuff that I enjoy picking up and reading, and there's some things that I've already read that at the very start where I've been like, this is probably going to be a problem that I'm going to have to take care of, because it's oddly specific about this one thing.
Right, and, like, as the director, I feel like this is now my problem.
And then as you continue playing, you start to see posters about a specific thing, and it's like, no, this is going to be a problem I'm going to have to handle now. This is going to suck.
One of my favorite things about the game at the beginning that I feel like I don't think we mentioned is, as soon as you are promoted to director, like, that all of a sudden, like, a very American picture of her as the director is all over the complex. And it's just like, it's such a cool touch where it's like, you didn't have enough time to take that picture. That picture just showed up.
And as far as we're aware, you've never worn that set of clothes that are in that picture. So.
Right. Oh, it's so good.
Yes. I love I think we talked about it with, I think it was Prey, and then also a little bit with Tacoma. The graphic design choices around in-world, like in-universe health and safety stuff is always great, and I love the ones in Control where it's like, is it a stapler? Are you sure it's a stapler?
Right. What is it really?
Don't leave anywhere with any items inside the bureau.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I had seen somebody tweet this, and I was thinking the same thing too, and I think Boston retweeted it, where somebody had said that they had wished that there was an option in the game where you could just walk around to read, the stuff that was just around.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking the same thing, because it's not that the combat is horrible or anything. I enjoy shooting things just like the next person, and I enjoy the power that I've gotten so far. I can pick stuff up and throw it at people. But sometimes it's just, I just want to walk around just to see what's here. Like, I don't.
Yeah, like, I want to look at this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have, playing it too late in the morning or early in the morning, whatever, there have been times where you'll hear, because I've been playing with headphones, and you start hearing the hiss, but you can't pinpoint anything, and it's a weird, it's not even so much that it's freaky, it's just the simple fact that I can't pinpoint where things are at, so I'm kind of psyching myself out, where I had gotten the hotline phone, and coming back, I knew full well I was going to have to fight things, because that's just how games are. It's like, I already cleared out this area, but I did something that triggered a flag, a cutscene, whatever. So now I'm probably going to have to fight something coming back, and I did. And so I opened the door, I see everything warp in. I'm like, all right, so I back away from the door and just kind of camp out and wait for them to come to me.
Right.
And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to listen to see if I could figure out, because I know for sure there's at least 3 out there, but I know there's got to be more. And I was trying to see if I could pinpoint or hear, okay, how many of them are out there? How many different things can I hear moving or talking or whatever? Because they all make weird noises. And I couldn't pinpoint any more than like 3 of them.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, so 2 of them rushed through the door at me, took them out. And I'm sitting here switching my camera back between left shoulder, right shoulder as I'm clearing the door and checking the corridors and all that stuff. And I finally walk out there because I'm like, all right, nothing else is coming. I just have to find these guys. That's fine. I walk out there, and there's like a bunch of them. I'm on like a second-story stair, and there was like a bunch more of them on the first floor. Like, I did not plan this out. And then I went to go shoot something over the ledge. And as I was aiming, she jumped up on the ledge, then off the ledge. I'm like, well, I guess I'm in the S now. So then I just start taking everything out.
I guess we're fighting. All right, let's do this.
So it's kind of weird. But I really enjoyed the game so far.
Yeah.
Yep. And I hope I can beat it before everybody else starts spoiling it more. Because I'm already starting to see stuff, and I've already had to start blocking people. So
thankfully, it's not super long. So
yeah. But I really like it. Hopefully I'll have it beat by next time. We'll find out.
I hope so too.
The final game that I played was Elite Dangerous. I was playing with community member Angel Eye.
Which, speaking of which, let's bring this up on the show. I don't know when you sent me that message.
It was while you were playing Descenders.
Okay. What day was it?
Friday night, I think was when we played.
Do we have a missed connection here?
Yes, we do.
Because I sent him an awesome message that he ignored.
I think you may have sent it to me while I was downstairs in the basement changing out my laundry, because Friday is also my laundry day. So you may have sent that to me while I was downstairs, because I saw it. I think I only caught the fact that I had a new message today, which tells you something. I was like, wait, why do I have a new message? Wait, why did Nimp send me a message about Elite? He's not even online? What's going on? I was like, huh?
So Angel is moving from PC to Xbox One because he had a couple other friends that moved over and he wanted to play with them as well. And he and I just met up because we both wanted to play. And so he sent me a message. I'm like, sure, I'll be on. And so he is like fresh. Sidewinder, starting out in the starter system.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I flew out there with my Fer-de-Lance because I figured, hey, I'll just give you some support. You can go ahead and do, it's like you want to do trade, combat, whatever. Obviously, you're not doing combat in a Sidewinder. You can try, but you're not getting too far. So he started out with some of the trade missions and stuff like that, and I was just kind of flying around, helping him out, just making sure he wasn't going to get blown up, which led to me actually just flying around looking at stuff, which I realized that I don't do that as much as I think I do. Because usually I'm trying to get to point A to point B under a time limit. But this time, I wasn't doing any missions. I was just there covering. So it's like I flew up really close to the space station he was in, started looking at a lot of the details. It's like, wow, they put in a lot of work to this, and flew in real close to a couple moons and checked some stuff out. And I mean, that game is real pretty. Stupid pretty.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We also, both of us found out a lot of stuff about the wing system, where you basically group up, and I guess they've changed this since the last time we all played when we were doing combat forever ago, because Angel and I winged up. Obviously it shows you where they are at, so you can go to them, but what I was finding out was a lot of times when he would drop out of Super Cruise, if I was going the correct speed, it seemed like, it would automatically drop me out of Super Cruise into the same instance that he's in.
Yeah, it's I think it's wingman navlock. It's something that's an option in there. I only know this because I have a lot of experience with this with my wife. Like, you can choose to lock onto somebody, and then you don't get a choice, basically. When that person drops out of Super Cruise, you do too.
Oh, okay.
It just keeps you together.
It keeps you together, and it's also a good solution for, let's say they're getting interdicted, which is they're getting attacked, basically Boston and Super Cruise, and it's trying to drop them to normal space so you can shoot them, kill them, and take their stuff. If that happens to them and they get interdicted, you can, if you're quick enough, you can wingman navlock onto them, do a quick U-turn, head straight at them at full speed, and you don't even have to slow down him, but it just goes boom and drops you straight into the normal space.
That's
no slowing down, none of that goodness, just straight in normal space.
I'm here to help.
A lot of times I was just following him, and next thing you know, I was close enough that I just figured it was I was close and he dropped, so boom, there I am. It's like, well, that's pretty cool. And then I noticed that when he would do jumps, I would jump with him. The only thing was the last time he jumped to a different system, it didn't automatically do it. And I don't know if it's just it doesn't do that for other systems. It's just if you're going into Super Cruise or what.
It's tricky. I think me and my wife refer to it as very temperamental.
Okay.
because sometimes it can work like a charm and sometimes it's terrible. One of my favorite things to do is to use people who are docked at stations to get me to that station and avoid the loop of shame. So if someone's like, if my wife is at a station, like, well, I need to go there too, I'm just going to wingman navlog onto her, and it'll do one of two things. It'll drop you the perfect space away from the station so that you can immediately basically lock on, request docking, and do all your fun stuff. Or the second thing is going to happen, and it's going to drop you around about 21,000 kilometers away, where you're like a 5-minute journey in normal space to go get there.
Okay.
So it can be super temperamental at times. One thing it might be worth looking into as well with Angel is, I don't know, I think you've probably got the better ships to be equipped for it. But if you have turreted weapons and you invite him on as part of his crew, he gets a cut of any mission that you do.
Oh,
so yeah, it's a very handy way to give somebody a nice quick 6-figure sum on their credits to try and help them jump up a little bit quicker.
Well,
nice.
I was able to give him a 7-figure sum.
Yep.
Ooh.
So here, let's hear this out because it's not as glorious as it sounds. So while he was doing his missions, and he didn't, he wasn't having any issues because he was doing all low-profile stuff. I was like, well, I'm going to help you get some money. Because we were starting to look at ships, and he decided that he wants to get a Cobra 3, Mach 3, which is
the Cobra.
Which is what I did. I went straight from a Sidewinder to a Mach 3, which is 358,000 credits, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So I know it's 300,000 somehow because we were both looking at the app online. But it's like, all right, this is going to take you a while to get to that point. So I flew back to my base, got in my Type 9, picked up a wing mission, started doing that. 2 hours later, I cashed this thing in, and he gets a message saying, hey, you have these credits in your name, go here and get it. The problem is that I did that at Jameson Memorial, and the problem is that you have to have a permit to get to Jameson Memorial. The problem is that for you to get invited to get this permit is that you have to hit elite status in one of your trades. Yeah. So, Angel...
Tell me he did a dock run. Did he do a dock run?
No. No, because I don't even think it shows up if you don't have a permit.
Oh, jeez.
Because I don't think you can warp to... I think it's the system that you have to have a permit for, so you can't even warp to it or hyperdrive to it.
Oh, great.
So, Angel is going to have to quit both of his jobs and hit elite status in this game so he can get that 8 million credits, which, depending on what he does, he's going to be making more than 8 million to begin with. So,
yep.
Sorry, Angel. But knowing this now, because I had figured it was going to... He would have to go to the place that I was dropping off to, which was Planetside, which it was going to take him a couple jumps to get there in his Sidewinder, but I figured if I was there to help him out, give him fuel limpets and stuff like that way he could just keep going, because he doesn't even have a fuel scoop at this point, which almost caused him a problem the second jump we did, because he went to a station, dropped off his load, flew back out, went to go do the jump, and then realized, I barely have any fuel, and then flew all the way back to the station. So that almost sucked.
I did that in the black, so I can't judge anybody for that.
But, so yeah, I just figured it was going to have him go to the planet side where I'd been delivering the stuff, not Jameson. So that sucks. Next time we play, I'm going to find something that's a lot closer to him that I can do. That way he can get it. But while I was messing around with that, he was doing his missions. And I think he said he was already up to like 200,000 or something like that. So he's trucking along there pretty well.
Yeah, well, when you know what you're doing, Elite is relatively easy to progress. It's learning to know what to do.
It's the beginning part.
Yeah. Or messing with systems that you haven't messed with in a game that you've put 300 some odd hours into. So.
Yeah. Yep. Well, they keep updating it and adding more stuff, and it's just like, what's this new stuff? What's that new stuff? Oh, great, more new stuff.
Well, that was... When I had realized when we were winging and he jumped to a different system, and I'd realized that it wasn't going to let me jump with him automatically, I was tearing through the map real quick trying to figure out where exactly he went, because I was just kind of following him, messing around, so I wasn't really paying attention, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't there anymore. I'm like, oh crap, where did he go? And I didn't want to tell him, hey, I'm not right next to you. So I'm like digging through the map. I was like, all right, found him, pinpointed him, jumped there. And as soon as I jumped to that system, I was already in his instance because he was messing around with something else.
Yeah.
Which I also found out too, not thinking about it because I'm not used to being in the bigger ships. I kept mass locking him because he was flying a Sidewinder and I was flying a Fertilizer.
Yeah. So basically, Boston, mass locking is you cannot go into Super Cruise mode if you are within a certain gravity distortion field, which is relative to the size of your ship. So if you have a great big chunk in Anaconda, little ships aren't going to mass lock you because they're tiny. Right. So you can just, generally speaking, you've got the engine power thrust to get away faster from places because they're less likely to mass lock you because of the size of them. A Sidewinder is a little bitty tiny little thing. And if he's in his further lance, that's a huge ship.
Compared to it,
comparatively, if it gets close enough, you can't go into Super Cruise mode because your mass is being disrupted by the big ship next to you. So
it's essentially the Fallout over-encumbered, can't fast travel thing?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, I was up on him because, like I said, I was looking at stuff because I wasn't really doing a whole lot. So I'm looking at like the heat vents on his ship. I got real close just looking at the designs. And then all of a sudden he just happens to say over chat, hey, he keeps saying that I'm mass locked. I'm going to have to get pretty far away from the star. And all of a sudden it just clicks. I'm like, we're at a nav point. You're far enough away. So I just back down on the throttle a little bit. And he's like, oh, there we go. And then he goes. And I'm like,
yeah, that was weird, huh? I wonder what caused that. Huh?
Exactly.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if anybody else wants to play the NEMP, Xbox, Elite Dangerous.
There you go.
Moonpier, same.
Yep. And that's all I've been playing.
Add me in Discord, by the way. If you're sending me a message, like if it looks like I'm idling on my Xbox, chances are I might be because it's literally my form of entertainment. Add me in Discord if I don't respond to messages on Xbox.
At Moonpier on Discord.
Yeah, we had figured you were achievement hunting, so that's why we left you alone.
I kind of was, but I kind of wasn't at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, on to you, Boston.
I decided to check in on one of my favorite. I've got a lot to talk about two games, so I'm going to blow through some short stuff here. I decided to check on one of my favorite streamers, Dado. He does a lot of Destiny stuff. He's been playing Borderlands 3 since it came out. Decided I hadn't really had a chance to watch him play the game. And I decided to pop in, and he was in the middle of a cutscene that looked super cool. I don't know who any of these characters are. I like in the middle of a cutscene. I was like, boy, this cutscene looks really great. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on. Oh, that's the end credits. Oh, I just watched the ending of Borderlands 3. So I finished Borderlands 3 if any of you have any questions about this fantastic new Gearbox game. So, done with Borderlands 3. Put on the Game of the Year list. I did play a bunch more House and Fata Morgana. I very much ran into the violence warning stuff, which is now very clear about, this game is very violent, and it will not pull its punches. I finished what I now understand is the first story. I was like 5 minutes away from finishing that first story. So I've closed the first door in the mansion, and I've opened the second door, which appears to be the next story in the storyline. They've skipped forward, I think 150, 200 years in the future. It was the 1500s, I believe, in the first story. Now it's 1705, something like that. So it started with a new character, and an old character in a way that would probably be a spoiler, but I think it's something that seems really interesting. A lot of really interesting stuff happening in this game so far. I am hesitant to recommend any visual novel until I've finished it, but this one so far has been... Once it got about halfway through that first story and you started seeing the threads of where it's starting to go, it's really started to pick up. And the second story has been really good pretty much immediately. So, so far so good. I'm going to keep plugging away at that. One thing that I think is really interesting is this game has been out forever. It's 10 plus years old. There's an an option on the back of the front, the bottom of the main menu. It's basically like the back door of the manor. And I haven't gone through to see what it is, but basically, if you've played through Fata Morgana before, this is the meat of the game is still the same as it was before. There's just a bunch of added stuff on the back end of it. Basically, the game asks you 3 questions to prove that you've played it before. And at that point, it just unlocks all of the base visual novel, and then you can play the additional stuff. I think that's
cool.
I think that's really cool, because it's like, yeah, I've played this game before. Like, I liked it. I don't need to go through it again, but I want to see all this exclusive, like, first-time translated stuff. So I think that's kind of cool.
It does remind me of the old security questions, though, on PC games.
Page
What's the
15.
character on page 15?
The third paragraph. Yeah. Spin this wheel. What's the glyph? Yeah. Gears 5. I finished Gears 5. My final completion time was 10 hours, 14 minutes, 65.66% completion. I finished on intermediate, which is normal, basically the normal difficulty. Mm-hmm. I did complete all the side missions. So keep that in mind. It appears that I am going to run contrary to how everyone else feels about another Gears game, because I loved every second of this game.
I'm hearing a lot of positive.
Sure.
Like, from the general circles I run in, I'm hearing a hell of a lot of positive, and I'm hearing a hell of a lot of why you gotta do the teaser ending again.
That was a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, I feel like I'm not going to spoil it just so anyone knows, because it's been out like a week. I feel like it very much does the thing that Gears 4 did, where it has very clearly progressed the story, and then it ends on a cliffhanger, which I'm okay with this time, because I feel like it's less of a cliffhanger than 4, where Gears 4, that final shot is like, oh, wait, what? Wait, it's done? No, I need more. And this one's sort of like, okay, we finished this chapter of the story. Now we're ready to go do the next thing.
Yeah, Gears 4 very much felt like a finish the fight moment.
Yes, very much so. There's 4 acts in Gears 5. Act 1 and Act 4 are Gears games. They are point A to point B, clear out the enemies, chainsaw a door, or have Jack rip a door, go to the next arena, and sort of rinse and repeat. Those are fine. Gears has always been good at doing that stuff. And this feels really solid, and I feel like more of the fights that Gears presents are more varied. It's not just going to this arena, as soon as you hit the first set of sandbags, there's a hole, and then, drones start coming. Yeah. There's a lot more interesting stuff. There's a lot of new weapons in here, so there's a ton more stuff to play with. I think Act 4 was probably a little bit short, but by that point, I was sort of ready to just fight the final boss and kind of wrap this thing up. Not that I wanted it to be over. It's just I've kind of already, we know where we're going. Let's just finish the fight. Yeah. The part that I really like, and the part that seemingly everybody else hates, is Act 2 and 3. And those are the open world acts. Part of the reason why I like these acts are, number one, on Twitter I've been referring to them as open world in quotes, because it's not like Act 1 and 4 are Gears of War, Act 2 and 3 are Assassin's Creed. It's not like open your map, 300 icons, open up your app to open these chests. It's not like that. It's more like this.
Why bring
I know.
them back?
I'll never let him forget. Never forget. It's more like the second modern Tomb Raider game, where it's like you have a larger open area you can play around in, and has interesting things to see around the map. And you have a map, and there's sort of icons on it, but it's 10 instead of 1,500. I like these a lot because it provides a downtime that Gears has never really had before. Like, when you're using the vehicle to get from point A to point B, you're not fighting anything on the vehicle. Like, in the second act, some of my favorite stuff in this game is the relationship between Kate and Del in the second act. The third act, I'll get to. But Kate and Del's relationship as part of their squad is really great. Like, there's a vulnerability to their conversations that Gears has never really had before. You know, Gears historically has been like, I don't have time to talk about my feelings. Jack ripped that door. Oh, come on. You know, like, it hasn't been that. And it's a lot of, like, conversations between Kate and Del being like, what are you going to do after we do this? Like, after we find the answers to this question, what are you going to do? And then, like, maybe Kate evades the question and Del's like, no, like, this matters to us. Like, we need to have the conversation. What are we going to do? So it feels like that. It feels more like, now I'm thinking about it, feels more like the downtime during the most recent God of War game when you're in the boat. Where it's sort of like, we're going to have a conversation, we're going to flesh out these characters, we're going to talk to Jack a little bit, and we're going to have some interesting conversations, some fun ones, and have a good time. And then when you find an area, I understand the criticism of this point. Points of interest in the open world areas typically are, like, blocked off, and they'll have a flag waving outside of them. Act 2 has yellow flags, Act 3 has green flags. So it's fairly easy to tell where an area is. They're not super hidden. Once you go in there, you kind of play a Gears encounter. It's like, oh, here's a crashed Condor. Whoops, enemies came out, blat, 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 they're done. Okay, cool, we get an upgrade for Jack. But I liked the pacing for those because it wasn't encounter, and kind of rinse and repeat for an entire act. When you're getting into the big tentpole story events, they were like that. Where it's like, okay, we're going to go into a big building. It's almost going to be like a dungeon in an RPG. Like, we're going to be in here for a while. It's going to be a string of fights. There's going to be a boss fight. That stuff felt really great. But I know a lot of people have, especially in a lot of reviews, they're saying that it's unnecessary padding. It's unnecessary fluff on top of a game that didn't really need it. But to me, I like seeing Gears trying something different, because for the previous 5 Gears games, they've been Gears games. They've just been, here's your chapter, next chapter, boss fight, you're just marching through it, and having them do something different, I think is really great.
The thing that tickles me here is and this could be a question of the popularity of the two different individual series. Because while in our circles both series might be huge, one of them is considerably bigger than the other one. But Gears, a third-person shooter, makes a change like this and adds in small open-world sections, maybe to test the waters and see how things go.
Right.
And everyone seems to want to complain about it. It's
right.
Like, me, why are you doing that?
Most people that aren't playing the campaign anyway.
Yes, most people who are just about rolling and shotgunning and versus
or Horde, which is fine.
Yeah. And then Yakuza 7 announces it's going turn-based, and everybody is like, sure, why not?
Let's try it.
Bring it on.
Have you seen Yakuza 7's first summon, by the way? The crab summon just...
It's a crab, it's a lobster.
That's sorry, yes. So good. Yep. So good. You're right.
The summon method is great as well.
Just hitting a button on your phone.
Fancy magic thing on his phone, and he's just, boop. But yeah, it's like the different reactions there. It's like, okay, we trust you with this franchise. There is absolutely bat poop crazy,
right?
And we don't trust you at all with this franchise, which, like it or not, is very by the numbers.
Yeah,
Gears is a third-person shoot 'em up. And
right
now it's finally getting story, and I like that.
Yeah,
because the story in 4 I thought was genuinely great, and I'm excited to play the story here.
Especially since there's more character there. Like, it's not just Marcus and Dom. Pew, 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 you know, like...
Yeah.
No.
Marcus Dom, the token black fella, no offense, but Coltrane was, until Gears 3, the token colored person in the group.
He's really good in Gears 5.
And the smart-ass white guy. Like, that was the four. It was the two guys you should care about, and then, you know, the additional characters.
Right. And, like, what's so great about this game is Jack is even so much more of a character because Del interacts with him a lot more, and Del is always trying to get Kate to be more affectionate towards Jack, because Jack clearly has feelings now. And on top of that, Jack has an upgradable skill tree. So, like, one of my favorite things to do in this game was I had this loadout that I really liked for Jack. One is he has, like, a healing skill, and that just maps to the Y button. And basically, it heals your entire party. Most importantly, once you upgrade it like 1 or 2 times, I think, because it has 3 upgrades and then an ultimate one. So like the ultimate for the heal, the stim pack, was when you heal, you get triple melee damage for a while, which is okay. I mean, I'm going to be chainsawing stuff. I'm not really meleeing stuff.
That's your mistake number 1, is using the chainsaw when you've got that buff. You use a shotgun and you hit them with the butt of that shotgun and watch them explode.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything on the story, but there is a significant number of one enemy type that is crazy easy to just chainsaw your way through as opposed to shoot or melee.
Okay, so it's the grubs or whatever they're called from 4, the little, basically like the little guys who just pop over cover, and it's just
the
like,
juvies.
Okay, I'm just going to stand here with the chainsaw like this, and you're just going to jump into it and split in 2 over and
By
over
the way,
over
they
again.
solved that problem by upgrading juvies in this game in a way that is, I don't want to play insane, just because of those guys.
Right.
But one of the upgrades revives down but not out players, including yourself.
Yep.
So, combining that with an upgrade that Jack has, where it's like one of the highest upgrades, where every time you get a kill, it decreases his cooldown by a little bit. So if you're in a really heavy firefight, you're decreasing that cooldown for a heal. So if you go down but not out, you don't have to wait for Del to just like dance over your corpse for 2 seconds and like 3 people around you being like, no, I'm coming, I'm gonna get you. It's like you're stepping on my face, like just get me up. That was a really great combo to just, as a solo player, to just kind of motor my way through there. The other one I really liked, and this is a little bit of a skill spoiler, the very last one you get allows you to have Jack take over an enemy unit.
That's kind of cool.
And they fight all the way across the battlefield against the other enemies for you. You don't control them or anything. It's just like, hey, you see a boomer out there. They're called Scions now. You see one of those out there. You take him over. He turns the boom shot on everybody near him. When he gets out of control, you kill him and he explodes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, dude, they've always been called Scions. It was Scion Boomer, Scion Grinder, Scion Railgunner, whatever it was.
The number of times this game has said, oh, expletive, there's a Scion. It's like, I know. He says, boom. You know, like, I know what these guys mean. Like,
or grind.
Right. Yeah. God, I have so much stuff written here. I think the variety of environments is way better, and I think one of my favorite set pieces in this game, and probably in most of Gears, is the end of Act 3. Not going to spoil it because it's story-wise very important, but you had a big story piece and big set piece to end Act 2, which I'm definitely not going to spoil, is that's one of those story things where it's like, oh, cool, this is going to just change Gears forever. Fantastic. it's really good. That wasn't me being snarky. But Act 3 has a set piece that's so huge that you sort of go around and under and deal with in a couple of different areas that I really, really loved. And it not only does it look great, but it looks... So much of Gears looks so much better because it isn't the capital city. It isn't the brown and grays and greens. It's... The second act is a frozen area with a blue sky. Like, you have some snowstorms here. The third area is this red desert area that you're in with thunderstorms and tornadoes. Like, all these different things look significantly different from each other, which I didn't realize until you start the game and you start in like this lush green jungle where I'm like, oh yes, this is this is what Gears needed to be. Like, I need to see other parts of the planet other than, yeah, it's raining and everything's on fire. Okay. So that, I think that was a huge improvement, and I cannot wait to hear what you think about this on the X Moon in 4K and HDR, because I was running it on a launch Xbox One. Performance was... Load times were bad. Frame rate was good. It was rock solid 30, which is not what I expect out of a launch Xbox One at this point. The PC version looked incredible. Running that at 1080p, 120 frames with all the stuff turned up to Ultra, because that's what it picked. And that stuff looks so good, but I don't have 4K or HDR on my machine. So
they seem to have optimized the hell out of that thing for PC.
It is... I have a fairly good video card, but this thing, like, when I fired it up, it just picked Ultra for everything, and I ran the benchmark, and it's like, yeah, it's 120 frames. Like, go, you can play it, go crazy.
When it picked Ultra, did you think, oh, Microsoft, you're lying?
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be like one of those things, just like, yeah, you can play Ultra at like 15 frames per second, and it'll hit 30 every once in a while, but no, it was really, really, really great. What else? I think that's it for me for Gears, because the only other stuff that I would have any discussions about would be story, and it's way too early for me to talk about any of that stuff. I think, like I said, Act 4 is a little short, so I feel like the story there felt a little truncated, and it felt a little bit sudden, where it's like, okay, cool, that thing just happened. Oh, that was the final boss. That's credits. Okay. Like, certainly not feeling like Halo 2, where it's like, yeah, we're getting started. No, God, it's over. Okay.
Honestly, though, I would rather have like that. Oh, that was a cool moment. Wait, that was the last boss. I'd have that every single time over the general ROM fight at the end of Gears 1, where it's on the train and you die every 5 seconds.
Yep.
For 1,000,000 hours.
Yeah, that wasn't... I mean, playing on normal, I had bad luck on the Act 2 boss fight. Not going to spoil any of it, but like, the boss will occasionally leap to a different area, and a lot of times it would leap onto me and one-shot me, which did not feel great. But I'm chalking that up to a lot of bad luck fight over fight, as opposed to the fight being broken. And a lot of the game, I thought, on normal, intermediate, whatever, was fairly challenging, mostly because I'm really rusty at Gears, and I'm certainly not playing my best. But I felt like it was a good challenge on normal, and I could see if you had a 3-person squad on Insane, that could really be a lot of fun. Because the third person controls Jack, which is something I really want to play, because that sounds like a lot of fun. I would like to rip that door. It's me, Jack. But I really loved Gears 5. The only problem I had with it was that second act boss fight, and everything else I really loved. Like, I'm seeing a lot of criticisms, and I'm seeing a lot of people nitpicking, and I sort of understand where they're coming from, but for me, from front to back, it was really great. And to me, it feels like when you first played Gears of War 1 the first time on 360, where you're like, God, this is just, it's so well put together. Like, it's so fluid and it feels so great to play, and all the weapons are interesting and you have so many cool set pieces. Like, God, it feels so good to play this game. And that is Gears 5 for me. And I feel like Gears 4 missed that mark a little bit. And Gears 3 did really well, but God, 5 is really great. I can't recommend it enough.
I should probably install this at some point soon.
Yeah, it's really great. I haven't tried Horde because I don't know if I'm interested again, because they're digging deeper into this hero class Horde thing where every character has a class, every class has a role. I don't know if that's for me. I haven't done Escape because honestly I don't know if I really care about that. But I played the campaign, I liked the campaign, and I feel like Gears 5 is a game people should definitely play this year. And it's for me it's only 10 hours. And that's doing all the side stuff. So it's not a huge time commitment. Go play Control, then go play Gears 5.
Yes.
That's your order of operations there.
And then the Outer Wilds.
Yes, Outer Wilds, yes. So I finished Gears 5, so I figured, now that I'm out of my Xbox One, let's finish out Quantum Break.
Oh boy.
Picked up Quantum Break at Act 2, where the ocean liner is falling apart and you're trapped and there's like all the shipping containers. The very first thing I did was I walked off of a shipping container and fell through the world. I was like, cool, so this curse is just going to extend to multiple games now? That's great.
Yep. Apparently.
I didn't like most of Quantum Break, but I can't help but respect the hell out of Quantum Break because it's so ambitious. Like, that's the biggest word. If I had a big word cloud for Quantum Break, the giant 120 point font word in the middle would be ambitious. It tries to do so much, trying to weave together a time travel story that
a live-action TV show.
a live-action TV show that's actually pretty well done past the first episode. The first episode is not that great, but the more Lance Reddick you can put in the show, which is exactly the choices that I made, which is how do I get the most Lance Reddick? That stuff was surprisingly really good. The story overall, I thought, was really strong once you got to Act 4. The first...
Is that when the lady starts talking about a whole bunch of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff?
Yeah, there's like... this game is in 2016, so I'm going to spoil some stuff. There's like an 11-year time skip at that point, there where I don't agree with the character design they had for Beth, where it's sort of like, yes, I get it. She's upset and she's angry. She doesn't need to look like a Hot Topic kid. But I think the performances of most of the characters are really good. Lance Reddick is great. Beth Wilder is great. The main character is not great. Sounded a little sleepy through most of the game.
The main character, that's Iceman, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't seen the new one.
Iceman from the OG X-Men.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I meant to look up all the actors because, like, Fiona, the one that shows up in... She didn't show up in my ending. The one that shows up in the live-action ones, I thought I recognized her from something, but I forgot to look it up. Patrick Moynihan as your brother, I thought was really good. The guy who plays Paul Serene, I thought did mostly pretty well.
He's most famous for Game of Thrones.
Okay.
He's the friend of Varys who's not Varys in Game of Thrones. He's the other spy person in Game of Thrones. He plays creep really well.
Yeah. And I thought he played a dude descending into madness pretty well in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy that plays Charlie, the hacker guy, is probably one of the more outstanding actors in this one. I really wanted to like Quantum Break. I just don't think it's as good as either Alan Wake or Control.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is really interesting is you can sort of see the development through line from Alan Wake to Quantum Break to Control. Like, there's some really cool stuff in Quantum Break where when you're going through the stutters where time has stopped, they have some really cool platforming things. Like, I think one of the worst parts of this game from a sound design perspective is it's in like Act 4 or Act 5. It's near the end of the game where an ocean liner crashes through this bridge. The sound design is nearly non-existent, maybe because of a bug. Looking online, when they put out the Xbox One X patch, apparently if you're not running it on an X, there's just a bunch of bugs. The sound design was mostly missing from a lot of the latter half of the cutscenes, either by design or a bug, I'm not sure. But what's really interesting is they had a bunch of interesting platforming sections where you're platforming from like a steel girder to a bunch of signs that are floating out in the middle of nowhere to like a gate that's been laid on its side to something else. And that reminded me a lot of what they were trying to do in Alan Wake's The Writer DLC, where I
haven't played that one.
Okay, so part of it is you're jumping and you're walking across sentences that Alan Wake has written as you're like curling up and through this like black area. So you're kind of platforming across words and sentences as you're going on. And it
reminded me of Titanfall 2.
The
time moment in that.
Yeah. And so it's interesting to see how they've evolved the Writer DLC over to that. But it's also really interesting to see some of the direction of the cutscenes in Quantum Break were not that great from a perspective of I don't know where my character is anymore until they cut back and I'm like suddenly dangling over a precipice. It's like I don't know how I got from point A to point B, which is very much not a problem that they had in Control, where it's like Jessie is always on the screen somewhere. You can always tell what's happening to her, and there's always a really great sense of motion and direction in Control that I think it's really interesting to see Remedy continue to get better and better and better at what they do. It's just a shame that Quantum Break wasn't a better game for the level of ambition they were trying to hit.
Honestly, it feels like they got the legs cut out from under them. Because there was the whole Xbox launch, media, and everything's all going to be at once. And this was announced basically to be a launch title. And then they backtracked on so much stuff after that Xbox One announcement.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, how much of that actually impacted Remedy? Because how much of the game design changed from the point where the actual console design changed?
Yeah. And it's such a shame because I feel like if the gameplay side could match the ambitions of the TV show side, I think this would be an incredible game. If they just gotten some more time to tighten up that part, because they put some pretty good money into the TV show side, and there's a lot of footage because the game, the pathway through the game that you can choose and interact with when you're like scooping stuff up in the world that's affecting the TV show, there's a pretty good amount of stuff there. It's just a shame that it couldn't all come. It very much feels like an Obsidian game. It's like, God, people could love this. This could be a game of the year if you could have just gotten a little more money, a little more time, like just one more pass on this game, a little bit more time in the oven. And it just, they couldn't. And I think to me, one of the biggest praises that I sang of Control is every time you pick up anything you interact with, like the live action stuff is 1.5 minutes long. Most of the audio logs are 1 minute long. Any memos you pick up are 1 page. Control or Quantum Break, I think they learned a lot of lessons from that, because a lot of times you're picking up something and it's just pages and pages of emails that are in reverse chronological order. So it's like, it's the thing you hate at work, where it's like someone sends you an email that just says FYI, and it's just 400 emails in the wrong order below that. It's like, I'm not going to read this. Like, this isn't fun in real life. And nevertheless, me reading about the lifeboat protocol when 4 people are arguing about it. Like, I think Control is a better game for Quantum Break struggling through this stuff. And that's a bummer for Quantum Break, but it's really good for Control.
And I unabashedly love Quantum Break, and I'm biased. I have always said that. I am biased, and I absolutely adore Quantum Break. Control, to me, was literally, it's like, okay, so you took Quantum Break and you basically tweaked it, and in my personal opinion, kind of got as close to perfection as you could with a lot of what you have the capabilities to do.
Yep. Like, Alan Wake was a great game that has a lot of control and gameplay issues. Quantum Break resolved a lot of those gameplay and control issues and sort of fell on a lot of the storytelling stuff up until like the very end of it. And Control, I think the smartest thing they did in Control is they give you these very strong powers and they just let you abuse them. Like, launch is way stronger than it should be, by far. And it feels awesome to just launch a satellite dish at a group of enemies and have it just squish 6 or 7 people. And then let you just pick it back up and do the same thing over again. Like, I think they finally figured out how to marry the two great things of Quantum Break and Alan Wake, and I think we got Control. And I would agree with you. I think it's as close to perfect as they're going to get.
At least right now.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the future of Control and news stories. But that's Quantum Break. So I figured I'm really on a roll with third-person action shooting games. So let's start Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
I scooped this up on a pretty recent Sony sale. I got like the Ultimate Edition with like all the DLC and outfits and everything for like $20. Really looks good in 4K HDR. Reminds me how much I like HDR. Reminds me how much I would really like
for it in Control.
That's never going to happen, so I've sort of stopped pining for it. Really makes me wish I had an Xbox One X so I could play through Gears 5 with 4K HDR, because even on my PC, the lighting in that game is just so good. I really didn't like the intro to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's like a plane crash at the beginning, and then it cuts to a black screen and says like 2 weeks earlier. And then you go through this Day of the Dead thing, which is fine. You go through like your first tomb, which is good. It's all tutorial stuff. It's reteaching you how to scramble up walls and rip stuff down. And you thankfully have the majority of your upgrades from the beginning of the game, like the rope bridge stuff where you shoot a rope arrow between the two things. You already have that at the beginning. So that's great. After like the first half hour, you sort of pick up an artifact and maybe create a tsunami that washes away this nice quiet village that we are a part of. So you scarper off to a mountain instead of like saving to help. And it feels very much like, I get what they're trying to go for with like Lara having to deal with the consequences of her selfish actions in something. It just feels like maybe we did that last game. And maybe I don't need to do that in the first half hour of this game. And plus, I was really hoping they would be done with this, which was another, I'm getting washed away by water, I bumped into the wall, I got impaled, let's try this back over. Stop doing that in these games. They've sucked in the last 2 ones. Please stop doing it. Please.
Translation: Boston sucks at QTEs.
It's not even a QTE. It's just like, part of my frustration is I didn't mind it in the first game when you had she was parachuting and you're avoiding those trees. That was fine. But the majority of the screen is filled up with water because you're getting washed away. And then there's bits of flaming wreckage all over the place. And you don't know what's storyline that you're like supposed to bump into to get a breath for a minute, or what's like a building that you're going to impale yourself on. So like the visibility is just, it's really bad. And it's not a great thing to start your game off with. But thankfully, it gets to the plane crash stuff, you get stranded, and immediately it's the Tomb Raider stuff that I love, where you click in the right stick, you see all this stuff highlighted in the environment, you're scooping up all these herbs and wood and like cracking open these containers, and you're upgrading your items, and you have this giant skill tree. And like, yes, that's the Tomb Raider stuff I'm here for. So thankfully, once the tutorial is done, it seems like it really settles into the good stuff. So I'm excited to go through this experience. I was very happy to see there are no multiplayer trophies this time, which I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get everything and get the platinum, until I saw
goodness.
One of the trophies is to finish it on the very hardest difficulty, which is basically no assists, no nothing, no prompts for when you're gonna fall off of a cliff. You know when Lara does the thing where it's like, it's a big jump, oh no, and like you hang on with one arm, you have to hit square or something.
X button every time.
It like there's no prompt, and you have like a second before you fall, and it's like, I don't know if I want to go through that. I could just play Darksiders 3.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it, but I'm apparently really in the mood for third-person character action games, so I'll play another Tomb Raider game that I really enjoy, and then after this I'll probably play Darksiders 3 because it was free this month for PSN.
Yeah, I nominate you to go and play Assassin's Creed Rogue and tell me how that is.
Yeah, where did I see? We got that for free somewhere, or is it on Game Pass?
I don't bloody know.
It's somewhere on the 50 different storefronts that we have access to. It's somewhere.
So I've got just about every Assassin's Creed game on the Xbox just from Gold.
Right, yeah.
Even those mobile ones that I'm not interested in.
Maybe it was free for Gold and it's backwards compatibility. I'm sure it's available on the fantastic service Uplay Plus for only $50 a month. You can get access to 2 games.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of September 16th, 2019. AI, the Somnium Files comes out on PC and Switch and PS4. This is the new adventure game directed by the guy that directed the Zero Escape games. So,
interesting.
Very curious to see how... He has like 3 games coming out in the next year or so. So I'm very, very curious to see how these all turn out. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening comes out on the Switch. I am beyond excited to play my favorite Zelda game again.
Don't need to think about that right now. Thank you very much. Move on.
Yeah. Untitled Goose Game comes out on PC and Switch. Still my favorite game title.
It looks so good. It looks dumb. But it looks so good.
I'm very curious to see reviews for this, just to see exactly how much content there is in here. Because it could easily be one of those games that are like $15, it's 3 hours, it's really good, but it's like 3 hours.
Dude, at this point in time, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Thomas Was Alone length for 15 bucks. I'm
Perfect.
fine with that.
Tell me a really great story about a jerk goose.
Yeah, the goose was alone.
BAFTA award-winning Untitled Goose Game.
Yes.
Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch comes out on Switch. Mina and I are...
Second one?
The first one.
Okay.
Mina and I are stalwart fans of this game, and seemingly no one else is. So...
I really liked it.
Yeah, if you like a Ghibli art-style Pokemon game, Ni no Kuni is really good. Also coming out, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered is coming out on PC and PS4. So if you want the original, for some reason that's coming out on Switch, and if you want the remastered one, that's coming out on the other ones. So
Hashtag shocker, another Japanese developed game does not get an Xbox release.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given at this point. I don't really know what they're changing on the remastered version gameplay-wise. I get the sense that not a lot, but if you've never played any of these games, play the second one first. The second one is really, really great. It was Revenant Kingdom, I think it was called. And if you liked that a lot, go play the first one. First one's good. And lastly, Castle Crashers Remastered comes out for the Switch and PS4. It's been out on Xbox One for a while, so don't think they skipped this one for so. It's like it is XBLA hit game, not coming out on Xbox One.
No, they also released it for free if you own the first Castle Crashers.
That's right. Yeah,
you could install it for free if you bought Castle Crashers on Xbox 360. Which, if you're going to remaster a game, that's a good way to go.
Yeah. Also, thank you to T-Bomb Rocks from the community for letting us know that all 3 Puzzle Quest games are available on backwards compatibility. So you can play the first one and not the second one, and surely not Galactrix, if you really want. Let's move on to news stories. TGS happened this past week.
Oh, jeez.
Not a ton of super new things happened. A lot of trailers for stuff that's been announced already. Quick update about Final Fantasy VII, because I know there have been some people that have been less than pleased about the action nature of Final Fantasy VII. They announced a classic mode where movement and basic attacks are going to happen automatically, and then you kind of pick all the rest of your stuff from a menu, and you have an ATB bar, and it pauses. So if you want to play Final Fantasy VII like it used to be, classic mode appears to be your thing. And then they showed off the squatting minigame, which is really great. I'm glad that some of the dumb stuff is still in Final Fantasy VII.
They better keep all of the dumb stuff in there. Like, I don't care if people have demanded this remaster for so long. Stick everything in there. I want that cross-dressing scene in there because I want to see how the Broforce.
The trailer showed.
The
trailer showed some of the cross-dressing stuff, and it looks like Mark Hamill is voicing Don Cornelio.
Oh, that's perfect.
You should, Moon, you should watch the most recent trailer because it features a lot of that weird stuff, and it's like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. Yeah. It's really good. It's no sneak peeks at Honeybee Manor yet, but I'm still crossing my fingers. Next up, Nintendo announces Ring Fit Adventure. I forgot to put this in the news stories last week. Nintendo had their Direct, which was really great. And then they just dropped this trailer for this thing called Ring Fit, which is this strap around your leg. And just like a hula hoop, you stick a Wiimote, like one of the Joy-Cons into. And it was just this trailer of people like rolling around with this hula hoop. And it's like, okay, like, is this the game? What are you releasing with this? What
Dude.
What are you doing?
Dude, they had to find some form of tech for that stupid heartbeat sensor from the original Wii.
Yep.
They had to put it somewhere. They finally found where they can put it.
Yeah, so they
annoyed the left Joy-Con this entire time. That's why it's.
That's right. That's been the problem. Yeah. They announced a exercise adventure RPG called Ring Fit Adventure, which appears to be an RPG where you cast spells and attacks and stuff by moving the ring fit.
Okay, sure. Why not? You know what? I would normally laugh and scoff at this.
Sure.
But I've got a whole bunch of friends who have like PSVRs and like proper VR setups and stuff like that, and they just keep raving about how healthy they feel thanks to Beat Saber.
I was about to say the Beat Saber exercise program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know what? Fine, whatever. If Nintendo can do with this what they did with Wii Bowling and Wii Fit, because whether you want to admit it or not, Wii Fit was genuinely a really good exercise like program.
Yeah.
Like, you went in, it did the balance stuff, it did the posture stuff. It was very
yoga,
very helpful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was genuinely very helpful. So
that's true.
If this gets more people active, then good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Next news story: Remedy outlines Control's DLC roadmap. Let's go in order before they finished up with the big one here. They first announced photo mode is coming for free this fall. Mm-hmm. That will be really great. They announced Expeditions.
That will make me want to replay the game just for photo mode.
I know. I'm going to try and resist. They announced Expeditions, where Jesse and Arish team up to explore the Formation. I don't know what that is.
Whatever.
They do mention you'll need the best gear possible, so I'm not sure if it's like some horde mode stuff, like wave-based. I don't know, but I'm interested to find out.
Them saying that makes me think it's endgame content. Like, don't try this the first time you meet him.
Yeah, get some level 4 or 5 mods going on. Like, you need to have all your guns upgraded. Like, yeah. They announced the first sort of proper story DLC pack is The Foundation. Launches early 2020 and dives into the history of the oldest house, which, sure, sign me up. Most importantly, AWE is the last pack. It's just the Alan Wake logo. It's just the word in the words AWE. It just has the Alan Wake logo there. What are you doing? Please come put it out now.
Well, AWE, that stands for something. It's
Altered World event.
Altered World event.
Yeah.
Altered World, Alan Wake event.
Alan Wake experience. Make it like a 70s prog rock band.
I will not talk about anything else because anything else will be a spoiler at this point. So
yeah, read all the lore in the game, and you'll get as excited as we are. So that season pass is like $25, and apparently I need to buy it at some point because that sounds great, and I would like to support more Remedy stuff coming out.
Yes.
Yeah. Capcom announces Project Resistance, which is literally the thing I was talking about last week, which is it's probably a great time for a 4-player multiplayer Resident Evil game. We don't yet know if it's Left 4 Dead or Dead by Daylight, because the end of the trailer they show someone spawning as like Mr. X. We don't know if he's controllable or not or whatever, but I think this could be pretty cool if they can take what makes Resident Evil great and make it a cool multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So, 2 thumbs up. Last news story. God.
Why didn't that ever occur to us?
What's that?
Dead by Daylight should start implementing people from video games. Get Pyramid Head in Dead by Daylight.
There you go.
Tomorrow, please.
Yeah. That's great. That's a horror character. Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Because then you have to deal with those mannequins
That's
too. From
spooky lighting here.
That's not great.
That's true. Yeah.
Fine with that.
Last news story here. Apple finally put out some details for Apple Arcade. It's going to be coming September 19th. It will cost $5 a month for an entire family of users. However many people that means. I apologize for my kid yelling downstairs. It's very hot. They really didn't show off too many games. They showed off like Super Frogger, which whatever. It is.
Want to talk about the big 2?
It is developed by Q Games, so like I'm interested. But they did promise 100 games on launch, which hopefully most of them will be good. The big 2 that I saw were Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is also coming out on something else. Switch, PS4, something like that. And then they announced a new Choo Choo Rocket game.
Yep.
Which,
and the other one?
I don't know.
Enter the Gungeon?
You exit the Gungeon, yes. Yeah, it has to exit the gungeon, which is so good. Oh god, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yes, Exit the Gungeon is also coming to Apple Arcade. The only thing I can hope is that these are timed exclusives and they will come out to at least the Switch, if not Switch and Android at some point. But I will definitely be trying this next week because for $5 a month, why the hell not? I don't see a reason why not to, especially if there's a significant number of those 100 games available at launch. So I'll talk about it next week, but I don't know. The only thing I can hope is that it is fiscally as good of a deal as Game Pass is for developers.
Well, for devs, then yes.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in Apple. Just in general. So I'm sort of doubting it will be, but I hope it, because the surprising thing about Game Pass has been developers saying like, yeah, I put my game on Game Pass and now I can fund the next game. It's like, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting. So I'd really love to see that happen with mobile developers too, where it's like, I got a set amount of money from Apple for participating in this plan, like a lump sum up front, hopefully, and then payment over time. Now I can make another game. That would be my personal dream, but we'll see. Let's move on to questions. Jimbo Jangles sends us an email and says, "Hey there, TVGP." Hello, Jimbo Jangles. So I'm sitting here eating cookie dough and thought, hey, what's my dream game? As one does. So
you know what? It's one way to think to come up with that question.
Yeah. Sometimes the inspiration just strikes you, you know?
I've known a lot of people to contemplate life while eating cookie dough or a gallon of ice cream or
Yeah. Do your good thinking right there.
Shower thoughts with cookie dough thoughts.
Yeah. I gotta say, it's a Gears of War game that plays just like Red Alert / Command & Conquer. Top-down base building, awesome metal soundtrack, and goofy live-action cutscenes that give you the mission rundown, along with a campaign where you can play either side. I want it so bad. What's your dream game, TVGP? Thanks for the show.
Oh boy.
I think the thing that leapt to my mind is I want a massively open world first person shooter. And I'm talking like much, much bigger than something like Fallout or Skyrim or something like that, but with better shooting. Yeah, like I would want it to control like a modern action-y first person shooter. But I feel like the prospect of designing that game sounds intense.
Well, have you heard of Rage 2 or Far Cry New Dawn?
Yeah, but like I part of it is like part of it is I don't want a mission structure per se. Like I just want an open, I don't know. Sort of hard to explain. Like here's what I would really want. I would want a Halo game to feature the inner ring of a Halo, the part where there's trees and grass and rocks and stuff, but the whole game just takes place end to end. You can just explore the whole thing.
Oh, let me tell you about a little thing called Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great if Halo Infinite is just like the infinite means you're just on a Halo and it's just go play that. And it's like, oh, yeah, cool, like I can get behind that. Maybe I'm just sick of first-person shooters that are mission-based.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what my dream game would actually be.
Maybe I should just play Dying Light.
Honestly, my dream game would probably end up being something along the lines of Star Citizen, except if it actually, number 1, came out,
right.
Number 2 existed, number 3 was playable, and number 4 was set within, hopefully, a franchise that I would like. So,
right.
Give me Star Citizen in the Dune universe.
I thought you were going to say Elite Dangerous. I was going to say like that they're working towards Elite Dangerous now. Like they're just they can't stop making that game big.
Elite Dangerous is ever evolving.
Yeah.
Yes, it is slowly but surely getting there.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if you could give me like a Star Citizen or whatever that space game is that you like on the PlayStation, Boston, what's it called?
No Man's Sky.
That's the one.
Yep.
Give me one of them, or like Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Like in a Dune universe, like as in the
Space Worms. Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah.
Like the ability to land on planets, ride the worm, have Muad'Dib as one of the characters. Go away.
Sorry, it's an old. I was reminded of a very old SNL or Mad TV with Jim Carrey on it. Oh, it's been Mad TV, I think, with Ride the Worm. Sorry, I'm old.
That's okay. Anytime I think of Dune, I think of Fear is a Mind Killer from Rez. So
yeah, horses.
Yep. I don't know. I think that's mine probably.
Mechanical Beak says a new Splinter Cell. Man, imagine if you had like an open world Splinter Cell.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm drooling.
Getting my hope up every 2 minutes for a Splinter Cell game, please. It ain't happening. It hasn't been on the docket for a long time. So let's just not talk about it anymore until it exists.
The only thing that I feel badly for is Splinter Cell fans that misunderstand Easter eggs in other Ubisoft games as like, there's a new Splinter Cell coming. It's like, no, they're just being cruel, and they're just saying like, we love Splinter Cell too, but not enough to make one.
That's my point exactly. Like when they dropped the glasses in Odyssey,
right?
I literally wanted to throw my Xbox out the window.
How dare you?
Doing it just to get people excited.
How dare you besmirch Sam Fisher's name?
If they're going to bring Splinter Cell back at this point, Sam Fisher should be the last person you can collect in the new Watch Dogs game, and then Watch Dogs 4 is a new Splinter Cell game where Sam Fisher takes over as the Watch Dogs guys.
Right.
And honestly, those people can get behind everyone else who's mad about Half-Life 3 still not being a thing.
I feel like most Half-Life 3 fans have come to terms with it at this point. Like, there's still going to be
talk to a lot of Half-Life 3 fans.
Yeah, but I think there's still always going to be like a dedicated 2 to 5% of people that are like, it's any day now. It's just going to launch on Steam. Most people are like, I'd love it, but it's not happening.
They're at the point now where they look like that Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme. Where there's
with
like,
the charts.
Like the tiniest little thing, and they've got like charts with red string going to each one.
Yeah. I feel so badly.
It doesn't help when Valve announced on the 3rd of March they're going to have a press conference at 3 p.m. in room 3 of the 3rd.
Right, and it's just like,
come on.
Yeah. Nimp, any dream games from you?
Because you guys said Elite Dangerous, and I want a game where you can pilot different ships from different games.
Do you want Ready Player One, where you can just be like, oh, now I'm in the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm in the DeLorean.
You want the Smash of Elite Dangerous.
Exactly. Everyone wants all these characters in Smash. No, I want to fly the Pillar of Dawn against the Enterprise.
Pillar of Autumn, thank you very much.
Wasn't there a Pillar of Dawn?
I thought it was there's something else of Dawn, Pillar of Autumn. I think you might be cross-hybridizing
I don't
two
remember.
ships.
You want to fly the Nebuchadnezzar?
That's how bad I want to fly it, is I want the same shit.
I will fly the Nebuchadnezzar, yes.
Yeah.
I'll look this up now. I could have sworn there was a Pillar of Dawn, but maybe I'm just crazy.
Well, while you're looking it up, we're going to go to T-Bomb Rock's question over in Discord. With KFC making their own dating simulator, it has me wondering, what food chain would you want to make a game in what genre? For me, I would want Taco Bell to make a roguelike dungeon crawler where the end goal is to bring back the chili cheese burrito, which is very timely and appropriate.
Honestly, the best franchise fast food things have already been done. Burger King had the best one with Sneak King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funny thing is, I can't remember who... I saw someone on Twitter discussing this. I was like, look, licensed games like this promotional merchandise video game stuff, it's already been done the best, and it was by Burger King.
Yep.
If you're going to redo this stuff, Burger King needs to get in on it.
Yeah, just remaster Sneak King.
Because you talk to anybody who's been a gamer since the start of the 360 time, and people remember Sneak King.
And it was a hybrid game, too. It played on the same disc, played on original Xbox and 360. I remember going to Burger King, and I got a Whopper meal or whatever, and I said, hey, do you guys have any copies of Sneak King left? And they're like, the what? And I was like, a copy of Sneak King? And they're like, I don't know what that is. And it's like, I'll just take the Whopper. Never mind. Yeah. The Nymph. What would you,
Sorry, I'm still looking at ships.
Okay. I'll leave you to it. We'll head to T-Bomb Rock's second question. What game changed your mind on a genre you rarely played or completely avoided? For me, it was Grandia 2. At that time, I avoided turn-based RPGs like the plague. That's a good question.
Disgaea 1 SRPGs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That might have been Final Fantasy Tactics for me, where it was like, SRPGs, I don't play chess. And then I played it and I was like, oh no, these are good. Crap.
Yep.
I wonder if the first XCOM for the XCOM reboot was like that for a lot of people. It's like, oh no, I like turn-based games now.
Yeah. Elite Dangerous, Flight Sims. Never ever would have given them a shot.
Right. I feel like maybe this was Steins Gate for me with visual novels. Because I feel like I'd played some and liked them well enough before that, but I don't think I had one where it was like, this is a must-play. Now I have a laundry list of other games recommended in the same breath that I have to all go play.
Walking Dead adventure games. I
Yeah.
cannot stand adventure games to this day.
Especially like point-and-click adventure games.
Yeah, the Telltale stuff, I think they took that genre in a direction that it needed to go into. And on that same vein, Late Shift and The Bunker, FMV games.
Yeah. Seeing a real resurgence. Her Story, like the real resurgence of FMV games.
Late Shift was...
Quantum Break.
Yeah. Honestly, Late Shift is still one of my favorite games to come out of this generation.
Yeah.
Because they have probably just shy of the Quantum Break live action budget for the entire game, and they do some special stuff with that game.
Yeah.
See, for me,
I thought I saw Dwight jumping around in the background. Is he okay over there?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
He's just losing his mind.
He's just a kitten.
I think my wife went to the bathroom, which means that he has missed his opportunity to sit outside the bathroom door and meow as loud as he possibly can.
I hear people.
Mm-hmm.
The only genre that I actively don't play are roguelikes.
Funny story.
Yeah, I was going to say, there hasn't been one that I've played that I've actively been like, I really enjoyed that. I mean, I tried Binding of Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Meh.
Yeah. I'm curious, what are the list of roguelikes you've tried?
I bounced off Isaac the same way at first, too.
Yeah.
Keyword at first.
It's like Hollow Knight, where it's like, just stick with it.
I was going to say, there was Binding of Isaac that I tried. There was a Japanese-styled one. I don't remember the name of it, but it was something about curry. You were playing as like a...
Yeah, the curry god.
Yeah.
Something, yeah. Saga of the Curry God.
Something like that. And I got pretty far into that, but it just didn't stick.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest issue with it is just, at the time, you weren't, like, your progress wasn't really being held at all. For any.
Yeah, like, there weren't that many unlocks. Like, it didn't matter.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, well, I'm just kind of playing this to waste time when I've got other games to actually progress into.
Right.
So.
Right. Makes sense.
May I just make a small suggestion here, Nimp, of Everspace is on Game Pass right now. Why don't you give that a shot?
Yeah,
see how you feel?
I saw that too. Like I said, that's probably the one game that'll have me retry roguelike.
Yeah, like it's the melding of the two things you really love.
Yeah, but I don't know if it'll be enough, because I did watch a bunch of trailers on that, and it's like, that looks really interesting.
Yeah. Mechanical Beacon Chat says Hot Shots Golf avoided any other golf game. That's a good one. I feel like that got a lot of people into golf games because it looks fun and simple and arcadey, and you start playing and you're like, oh, this is actually like a full golf sim. What have I gotten myself into?
Yep. Power Star Golf is the same way. Power Star Golf is ridiculously complicated.
Power Star Golf is so good. Yeah, I don't know if I can think of anything else. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on anything else major. Because a lot of other stuff is like MMOs. I played World of Warcraft, but that's like the second wave of MMOs. Of course, I was there.
Yeah. I played the OG Neverwinter Nights, so...
Yeah. Yeah, old school D&D games. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, that's all of our questions for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. I'm going on vacation in early November, so if you want to write in for our mailbag episode, the thing we do very infrequently, pretty much anytime I'm unavailable for a Sunday, you can send it in and make note that it's for a mailbag episode. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. All the cool behind-the-scenes and early access stuff, including like 3 shows worth of Outcasts this week. We talk about some really great stuff before Game Club this week, and we talk about some what we're afraid of and what we're weirded out by before the beginning of TVGP this week.
I don't get it. I just don't.
I don't get it either, man. Sometimes things just weird you out, and maybe that should have been the question last week of like, what are you irrationally afraid of, as opposed to what game do you want to play that you don't have a rational reason for.
Here is an answer to that question for you that we can delve into on the mailbag episode.
Sure.
Escalators.
Okay, sure.
You just
never know when they'll bite you. Yeah. Send that into the mailbag episode of Moonpier. What else? Game Club. We're starting a new game that is Grow Home. That is, blissfully, as video game season is here, that they have another very short game, which is greatly appreciated. Thank you, patrons, for voting on that. As we're coming up to
No. They don't get thanked because they didn't pick Dream Dawn.
I know, they didn't pick Dream. Thank you, 49%. How dare you, 51%, for not picking up. Also, this is a good time since we're getting to the end of the year. Reminder, we don't do Game Club during December. Mostly because we're recording like 400 hours for predictions and game of the year. So we take the month off. So FYI.
Buckle up, folks.
Yeah, God. I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying not to think about it.
There are 2 times I dread doing this podcast.
We've done E3.
E3.
Yep.
3 times I dread. E3, Christmas, and then every Sunday around about 3:30 p.m.
Wait a minute. But yeah, we'll be doing that later. I think please listen to We Really Like It. That's a really great show. We're playing Dungreed right now, which is a surprisingly great game that we had never heard of. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Poor timing on my part.
So I have no clue where I got Pillar of Dawn from.
Was it Pillar of Autumn you were thinking of?
No, like I know Pillar of Autumn was a ship from Halo, and in my mind, I swear I have heard someone say Pillar of Dawn for something ship-wise, and I can't find anything on the internet.
I bet it.
Until Dawn is the mini-series for Halo, and I think Dawn is in that ship's title.
Maybe? You're gonna see me with a frickin' whiteboard trying to figure out where the hell I heard this from.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm just getting literally Until Dawn, the video game stuff.
Yeah, okay,
that's not so bad.
UNSC forward onto Dawn. So maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Figured it out. All right, with that behind us...
I've heard this name.
Nimp, why don't you tell me your titles?
All right. I have Can't Say Bamboozled. Hot Drop. I'm Still Doing It. Chopin, You Have Broken Me. Breakthrough EP, I Hate My Dad.
I just have I Hate My Dad, which...
I Hate My Dad, too.
1000 Zots. Reminds Me of Dead by Daylight. Use Your Butt Bash Spell. Blood Colored Metal. Hee 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 hee. Put That Daily in My Pocket. Smashy Smashy Crashy Crashy. Oh, I gotta do this in a voice. I don't have time to talk about my feelings.
Jack, rip that door. Come on.
That's the next one. I would like to rip that door. And Hot Topic Kid.
Okay, Moon, what about you?
Chopin, you've broken me. Life is terrible. I hate my dad. I hate playing this game. This one is a bit long, but I couldn't help it. Paint me like one of your French Beatles. Scarper off with my Geo. Smashy, smashy, crashy, crashy. The Lego game problem. Is it a stapler? Question mark. Bam, I'm here. Finish the fight. Cookie dough thoughts, and I don't play chess.
Boy, I have so many titles. Okay, I have Can't Say Bamboozle.
Yay!
Got me. 308, which is just, I like how you said where it's like 308 games. Chopin, You've Broken Me. I Hate My Dad. Hit Him with the Butt. Hello, my name is Wreckfest. The Beat Saber exercise program.
That's pretty good.
Put that daily in my pocket. I would like to rip that door. It's me. I'm Jack. And the Lego game problem. I feel like all of these are really good this week. I've put a check mark next to Can't Say Bamboozle, Chopin, You've Broken Me, I Hate My Dad, and It's Me, I'm Jack. And the Beat Saber exercise program. So we just have to narrow down like 15.
I really like the first two.
Can't Say Bamboozle and Chopin, You've Broken Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I Hate My Dad is a little too on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little...
It's super appropriate, but it's also super... Why is that... What is this title mean?
Yeah.
Thing.
I feel like it's not even a TVGP title. I feel like it's a podcast title.
Mm-hmm. Here we interviewed the latest stars of whatever and whatever, like alternate punk scene or stuff. And I Hate My Dad with Real Big Fish. Right. I Hate My Dad with Limp Bizkit. Right. I Hate My Dad with
featuring Blink 182.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beat Saber exercise program is just a really great sequence of words. I just want to give it. It might not make the cut, but I just want to mention it. My Giant Bomb Game of the Year pedestal. It doesn't hang with the others.
It definitely doesn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Number 2, it's fantastic. I think it's a touch too long.
It's a lot of longer words. I Would Like to Rip That Door is also really good, but maybe just like a skosh too long.
I would say so.
So we're left with Can't Say Bamboozle, Chopin, You've Broken Me, and It's Me, I'm Jack.
It's the first two. It's one of the first two, I'm sorry.
I think it almost has to be Chopin, You've Broken Me.
Just because it's so out of the blue?
Yeah.
It's a very TVGP non sequitur.
Like, what could they possibly be talking about to bring up Chopin?
Right.
Yeah.
Can't Say Bamboozle is good, but I think it leans a lot on the fact that bamboozle is a funny word.
And I'm hoping we've got 2 to 3 cuts of you trying to say it.
I mean, that's almost guaranteed. I'm going to vote for Chopin. This is a tough one. Winners all.
I'm going to go with Bamboozle.
Okay. Tiebreaker Nimp. Pressure's on.
Let me see if I got a coin.
All right. I won't.
Internet and
I won't have to have Google flip it this time.
Coin.
All right. Heads is Bamboozle. Tails is Chopin.
All right. Flipping. And I got heads.
All right. Can't Say Bamboozle wins. Circle. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm going to go with exactly what I said in the title in this show, to be honest.
That works. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 621 for September 16th, 2019. Can't Say Bamboozle.
Go, confusing.
It's utterly befuddling.
Damn it. You're fired. All right, thank you so much, everyone, except for you weirdos, and I'm not kink shaming, except for the people that were spamming us in YouTube.
The mixed screens are back in force.
Yeah, go private message each other. Not kink shaming, just stop spamming. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And I'm going to close the pen. We're done. You can stop recording.